This podcast is dedicated to the late Mr. Dick Hayes. Hello and welcome to the Chit Chat Podcast episode 4. I hope everyone is doing well and keeping safe, and thank you so much for tuning in. Now, before we get going, I would like to say a massive congratulations to all my fellow Bird College family. We finally did it, we made it, and we've graduated. Everyone's story of college is different, and the path of how we've gotten to this point has been different for everybody. But all of those early mornings, long days, classes and rehearsals that were tough and you didn't want to do, you did them. All the good things that came with college, the friends for life, the opportunities, even the house parties. We've created bonds and memories with people that we will cherish forever, but not just to my fellow Bird College family, to everyone that has graduated across the UK and elsewhere. Congratulations, class of 2020. We did it. And I wish success to each and every one of you. Now, today I'm joined by someone who has been part of my whole journey in my career so far. God knows how this podcast is going to go. It's like letting a dog off the leash, if I'm completely honest with you. It's my best friend and mentor from all the way in Florida, Mr. Richie Hayes. Richie, thanks for coming on the podcast.
No problem, Evan, and I swear I'll be good.
Now, be on your best behaviour, please.
I won't put much pressure.
The question
How are you, buddy? What's going on?
I know, not bad. Just graduated and life is weird at the moment. I don't have to get up at 9 a.m. anymore. It's getting up at 12 and deciding, what do I want to do today? Do you know?
Okay, well, I see you built a brick wall behind you anyway for a start.
Yeah, I'm the dancing bricklayer is what they're going to start calling me when I go back to London. But
if this coronavirus doesn't go away, we'll all be bricklayers.
Yeah, I know. But the question I've been asking everyone on the podcast is, how is everything been and how's your lockdown been, especially living in America?
So March 13th, I've been living in Florida going on nearly 3 years now. And we have a variety show here that we do, Eric and I, my wife, and who's your second mammy, as you know.
Yes, of course.
We have a variety show that we do here with a live band and other dancers, and we perform the 55 plus communities, so they're like retirement communities for all the rich people down in Florida. And March 13th of a Friday, believe it or not, we were on our way to a gig and things were starting to build, as everyone knows. That's when it hit really here in terms of stuff being shut down. So March 13th, within 2 days, we had lost more or less our entire year of shows over here because it's seasonal.
Wow. Yeah.
A lot of those snowbirds, as we call them, they come down from the north of America down to Florida for the winter months, and we perform for them then. And they all go back up. So obviously when they're gone home, there's no shows. No shows anyway. So like everybody else, we've been out of work more or less. A lot of stuff has been online. We've kept it going by doing online shows like yourself with this podcast. We've developed a couple of shows online with multiple cameras and so on and so on. And we've done it like that. But more or less, there's no business.
Gone.
Gone.
Like obviously yourself are quite close and we keep in contact. So I know how you've been getting on. But tell for anyone that doesn't know you, tell us about the story that happened outside Walmart or something with that guy with the face mask. Just to sum up what it's like over there at the moment.
Yeah, like obviously we're in contact with like yourself and the parents and stuff like that. It's very political over here for obvious reasons. And I'm in a very staunch Republican area, and for those that are not into the American Republican is the Donald Trump party. And I'm very much in an area where there's a lot of Donald Trump fans. I, however, am not one of those people. So this has become, unfortunately, due to stupidity, a political thing more than a medical thing anymore in the pandemic. So anyway, I'm walking into Lowe's, which is like the B&Q of over here. It's a builder's DIY stuff. I like everybody. We've just been working away at home and doing bits and pieces. So in I'm going, and the way I am is I'll have my mask with me in my pocket, and I'll walk from the car in the car park to the store or the shop, whatever, and I'll put it on me just as I'm heading into the area where the people are.
Yeah.
So as I'm passing this fella, and he's probably early 60s, looked like a retired veteran-ish head. Like a fella now you'd expect either a truck across the road or a Harley Davidson or something like that. Both of which I would love, but I don't have.
I know you would.
Anyway, so he just says to me as I'm going to put my mask on, you don't need to put that mask on. It's all a load of bullshit. And I went, well, what did I say to him? Oh yeah, I said more or less,
Getting old,
well,
boy.
Whatever you think, I said.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, you don't need it. I'm okay, and I'm standing outside, and I don't need it. I said, well, best of luck with it. But what I actually wanted to say to him, but I didn't have time, was when he says, you don't need that mask. I wanted to say to him, well, actually, I do, because they're very good. I find it helps me mind my own fucking business. You can throw that bit out.
I'm leaving it in. But like, that obviously must be frustrating, because like you mentioned, you've got your own show that's touring around Florida. And like most things, like our whole industry has been shut down until early next year, if we're lucky. And, you know, Six the Musical, I don't know if you're aware that in the drive-in things in the UK where you can go and watch stuff in your car,
Okay.
Six the Musical was meant to be in all those drive-ins, but that's now been cancelled because places in the UK are starting to go on lockdown again. And just before the podcast, actually, there's been a development in theaters in the UK. They're actually going to open up from the 1st of August with social distancing rules in the audience.
I did not know that. So
Yeah,
you just inform me of that right now.
that's just happened today, which is good news.
It's great.
You know,
Look, as I said, Panto is my biggest thing. I have two big things during the year. I have my season over here, and we've just based ourselves here now. And then I come home for Panto. And like right now, we're all on like just waiting, hanging if pantomime season is going to happen or not.
Yeah.
I think the next 6 to 8 weeks will tell all, and I can see, hopefully, and I mean this, hopefully there's a mad scramble, because it'll go so late before we can actually make a decision.
Yeah.
That then it'll just be a mad scramble to get Panto up and running.
And put it
I really
together.
hope it does, because I think it's going to be catastrophic for so many producers, theaters, and especially performers, because we're already in the doldrums. And like the likes of yourself, you know, and all your classmates and fellow students who have, you know, worked so hard coming out of college with wonderful dreams, and the harsh reality, the business is hard enough, but never mind when there is no business to even go into. It will come back. It has to at some stage. But when is the key, and how many of us will still be afloat?
Does it frustrate you almost when you see people like in around Florida, because that's slowly becoming a hotspot?
Well, it's not slowly; it's quickly. It is a hotspot now.
And
like 16,000 yesterday, and last night with 73,000 new cases in America.
Wow,
that's just ridiculous. And for me, there's an arrogancy thing going on as well, that we're, you know, we're better than that. It's not going to get us the flu. It's this. The numbers aren't coming from anywhere. And whether you believe in the hype or the media, and I know the media can sometimes just frighten people and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course.
It's still there. It's still there. We've been lucky enough. We're not stupidly strict on ourselves, but as I made a decision a while ago, I said we have to live some way. We have to go back out at some stage. So we do go out, but we take precautions. We don't take Taylor or son with us all the time, in terms of if we go to a store or something like that, he'll stay in the car with Erica or me, and so we're not all going in as a family. We have our masks. We wear them all the time. We have a very small circle of friends that we are spending time with and socializing within our houses.
I think that's a thing to be aware of, because yes, things are starting to open again in places, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily gone. We won't dwell on it too much, but I was just reading an article just before we actually went on to record this. It was some family in Florida who they said to their son, if you're going out or whatever, just promise us you wear your mask, because your father, his weight and diabetes. He was like, yeah, ma'am, I'm going to wear my mask, whatever. He went out and he was only just having food and stuff, but one of the boys that was in his group had contracted the virus, so he came home and then he gave it to the whole family, and now the father's in ICU for the last 3 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
It's a horrible thing, but like, you know, the way I look at it over here now is the dam has broke.
Yeah.
Flood waters are rising, and it's just a case of if we stay high enough up out of the water. Like I'm thankfully,
you're starting to gig again, aren't you?
I'm gigging again tonight, thank God.
Yeah.
So I'm gigging once or twice a week. They're small restaurant type bars. Down in Florida, lifestyle is totally different to at home, and you know, with the weather we have, most of the restaurants people sit outdoors.
Yeah.
So they're really nice venues, and people come, they have their dinner and they have a drink or two, and I'm singing away in the corner. it's not exactly what I wanted to do, but listen, I can tell you some of the biggest stars in the world at the moment are grasping for stuff, you know. So at the end of the day, I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I need to provide for my family. So whatever I need to do, I'm doing. My pride as well and truly put in the back burner for now, you know.
It has to,
and ego before anyone says
it. Look, let's go back kind of to the start. You were born and raised in Waterford, and performing and music runs in your family. That's a certainty. When and how did you start to develop that love and passion for music and performing as a kid growing up in Waterford?
So I'll make this as short as possible. But I suppose if people can watch this, I haven't a clue who I am. So mom and dad I'll start that again. My dad was a singer. Unfortunately, he passed away, as once you know, at Christmas. But that was a phenomenal singer. So I was born into music all the time. Mom sang, my brother played with my dad all the time. So I was constantly around it, going collecting the equipment or the gear, as we used to call it, at the weekends, from when they used to play the night before. And so I was always kind of on the road and doing bits and pieces like that. And then I was singing at home, music videos and all this kind of thing. And I suppose, but the real start of it then was Yanomamo, which was a show when Sting did a whole kind of thing on the Amazon rainforest, when all that started to come up at the very start. And it is probably even before you were born. Maybe not. No, it would though, because I was only.
It would, because you're old, you see, so that'd be a long time ago.
I'll dig the head off you through the screen. Don't worry. So Yanomamo, they picked 2 kids out of every primary school, 2 or 4 actually, out of every primary school in the southeast. We all came together and did this concert called Yanomamo, and it was all music done with the Amazon rainforest thing, like a Jungle Book kind of thing. I got picked for that. And I went, oh, I must be all right. David Flynn was in it. David Murphy. But David is the other fellow that I suppose went on and did his thing. So that was my first taste of being on the stage. And then, believe it or not, coming home from De La Salle College Secondary School one afternoon, said David Flynn, I'm in the panto. And I said, I'd love to do that. Oh, yeah, you should come down. It's great crack. 12, 13 at this day, maybe 14. So I go down, and I have to say it. I say it all the time. Great Danny Corcoran, no longer with us either. He was the director of Panto. Dick Hayes' son wants to know, will he let me in the Panto? And he thought I was one of the young kids, so he stuck me in with all the 6 and 7 year olds. Eventually that changed. I did close on 10 years at Waterford Panto. Started doing the musical theatre scene. And then, you know, I just got to grow for it, like yourself. But that was our training. Our training was going into the local societies and just learning that, you know.
I was just about to say, because you never went to performing arts college, you learned your craft from job to job and doing shows and stuff and so on. So who was, like, you mentioned Denny Corcoran and that, who's been a sort of a mentor and a guide to you that's brought you in the right direction in your early days?
Denny started me. Then after Denny gave me my breaks in the Panto and started giving me kind of principal parts when I was younger, right? So that got me out there. And then I started doing the musical theatres with Premier and Flaggy Lane, and I can't remember all the different ones that were there, but De La Salle College musical, the De La Salle College shows, who started so many people. And I went from the Panto, then when I was old enough, I went into Fiddler on the Roof with Gary Power and Tara Ann. And they were great because they... See, with my height as well, I looked so much younger than I actually was. So, was I actually that good? Probably the same as everyone else, but because I was half the size and I looked like a kid, it stood out more. So I started getting the groove. I loved dancing. I never really sang until I was older. So I was always kind of little Richie out the front dancing, right? But I was out the front because it put me to back front. So I had no choice. As you once said from the chorus line, when Eric was only saying yesterday, you didn't know it. I knew it when I was in the front. So, so my training came from Michelle Condon, was the choreographer on 90% of those shows. Michelle used to, Richie, you're out front, grand thanks, and I worked my ass off. But, you know, I thought I was able to dance. Nowadays, no. I can move. My technique is not great when compared to dancers. No, I'm not a dancer, but
so I won't be seeing you in Swan Lake anytime soon or anything, no?
Oh, maybe Daffy Duck Lake or something like that. You know?
But
Although, as you know, in rehearsals, I just mess all the time. I try and keep doing ballet moves.
Oh, it's like a child just trying to get you into the same spot and keep you there for more than 5 minutes.
I get bored. You see, that's what I have too much going on in my head.
Oh, it's a nightmare. And especially when when you're trying to take the rehearsal room seriously, and even when it's worse when Erica's choreographing, because then you're going to get away with something. You see,
Well,
and
I'm
then
the same with everybody, to be honest with you. Like if Debbie Kiernan, I'm just talking about panto rehearsals.
Yeah, yeah.
Involved in, like a Belinda Murphy, Debbie Kiernan, or Erica,
yeah,
my wife, and I just mess all the time because I think it's a nervous energy as well that I kind of put out there. But this panto, you have to have the crack and smack the head off you a couple of times then as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. I know about it. But let's talk about panto, which you are obviously no stranger to. You've been doing panto for about, I would say, about 100 years now. Was panto something you always had in mind, and how did you get involved into the world of panto after Waterford?
So, as I said, I did just up to the 10 years in Waterford.
Yeah.
And I learned my slapstick trade through blood, sweat, and tears and bruises and cuts through Nicky Cummins and Davey Sutton and all the gang and Brendan and them all.
Yeah.
And I got the rawness of it all, right? And that stood to me. And then I mentioned Michelle Condon earlier for doing dancing. And after Denny, kind of moving on with all the different people, I started to do shows in Dublin, and I started widening the circle and this kind of social end of things, getting to work with other people, and I started getting a bit of attention. Brian Flynn was my best friend. He was one of my great friends, unfortunately not with us, and he helped so many people, and he kind of took me from the kind of that step up further, and then started saying, Rich, yeah, you can go further again if you want, and he had that belief in me, and he gave me the part of Dodger, and I'll get to the panto thing, but I'm kind of setting it up. I did Dodger and Oliver. I got nominated, I got the Judy had a special award from David Turner. David Turner then took me to London to audition for Cameron McIntosh's production in the Palladium. But when I got there, I was too young I was same age as ensemble, but I was too young looking.
Yeah.
And I was too old sounding for the kids, for the Fagans gang. So they tried me out for Maritime Gear. And believe it or not, here's a great little story. Myself and a few others were down to the last few for the original cast of Maritime Gear.
Yeah.
And James Corden was the guy that got the part.
Okay.
At the time, right? As in the Late Late Show, James Corden.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of trivia for you. Right. So anyway, I started getting like a run at the whole West End thing, but I was always like too young. They used to be flying me back and forth. Martin Gere, Whistle Down the Wind, Oliver twice, because then they brought me back to go in as dance captain with the kids, with Gary Wilmot, and again that fell through. It was always doing my height. I used to be in David Grinroth's office with his assistant, who was I think it was Sarah at the time was her name.
Yeah.
They were so kind of, taken with me that they used to, they were finding me agents and all this. Because I was just this Amdram from Waterford that had no professional experience.
Yeah.
Beautiful Game, all those things. And then Lord of the Rings. And I was always just so close. I had more or less had Whistle Down the Wind. And Gail Edwards stopped it at the last minute. And this will all link to Panto. So at the end of all of that, I couldn't take the rejection anymore because it had gone on for 2 years. I was working away in Ryan's Decorating Centre and playing in the band Fresh at Night and down in Tubs and Tiles and stuff like that. And I always wanted to become a professional and live with it.
Yeah.
So I gave up. I said, I can't do it anymore. And then I remember Brian Flynn saying to me, why don't you try out for Panto in Dublin?
Yeah.
And I did. And the August Bank Holiday weekend of 2000, I went to the Gaiety. I could not get an audition for months and months. They would not take me in. I just couldn't get in. I had no agent. Brian Flynn rang the director, Michael Scott, and said, I have a guy here. Will you see him?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, I will, because it's you. I'll see him. And I had filled in a spot for George McMahon, aka Mondo from Fair
Yes.
City, in a stage school show he was doing with Helen Jordan. I had to cover him.
Yeah.
And the MD from that was Peter Beckett.
Right.
Peter Beckett is also the MD on the Gaiety Panto.
Yeah.
And he had seen me as well. So it all just came together at the right time.
Yeah.
Walked in, and we're 5-4 in Grafton Street. And at this stage, I'm going, I have nothing to lose. I've tried everything. This is my last chance. And all of a sudden, I'm standing on the what was the Anna Manahan's show that she won the Tony Award for.
Okay.
The cripple, I can't remember, it won't come to me in a minute. Anyway, that was
Right.
on the gate. I remember walking out onto that set. Michael Scott, Peter Beckett, and Rebecca, who was the producer's secretary. John Costigan was the boss man of the Gaiety at the time. And as I walked on stage, he took one look at me, got up and walked out, but he was leaving anyway, right?
Right.
So I had no clue who he was at the time. Sang me song, which was Cellophane, Chicago.
Right.
I'd learned the script they gave me, and I just started letting on. There was an audience there, and I started ad-libbing and just doing all this stuff. And I just think it was the rawness of me. I didn't go in with a trained thing. I come from the Amdram world of the Panto, where it was just raw, and just go for it and have the crack.
Yeah.
And they offered me the part there and then.
And so, did you go on?
You know, go on.
Did you ever think when you started the journey of Panto, the impact and success it would create for your career?
Oh, no, I didn't. Jesus, I left it that, like they literally said to me, Michael Scott said, he said, we all agree, so we've been looking to fill the part of Wishy Washy for like a month. And he said, we'd be nuts to let you leave the stage without offering you the part. And I walked out and I remember saying to him, bringing me dad, well, how'd you get on? I got it. And he went, what? I got it.
Yeah.
You sure? And I went, yeah, because this is coming off the back.
That's such an Irish parent thing to say, isn't it?
Are you sure? I went, yeah, I'm after getting the Gaiety Panto. Yeah. So that was August. Moved to Dublin in October, and I started it. And it just exploded that year. I don't like, you know, but it literally did, because this little fella, 5 foot, not even, running around, and I didn't have any airs or graces about me. I didn't have any preconceived ideas of how I should be on stage. I just brought me and what I used to do, and it worked. Yeah. And that's how I found my niche. It was never planned that from the very start, I'm going to be what I more or less am today, known as I'm the Panto head in Ireland, and one of. I'm like, I did 12 to 10 years, over 12 years in the Gaiety.
Wow.
So I did 8, then took 2 years of a break and went back and did another 2 years. And then I went to UCH, where I still am, 7-8 years down there. Yeah. And I love it as much as I am blackguard as I am getting that bit older. I can't do me backflips and throw myself upside down anymore. I suppose I can, but I won't last for all the shows. Although I have you now to run on for me every so often. So yeah, I still love it. I just love the buzz out of it. And because of the character I play, every show is different. And I have, because of my years of experience and my position within the show, I have the kind of have the unwritten rule where I can just kind of go with something if I feel on the day, you know. Yeah.
And like I think it's coming up to, it will be 5 years this year we've been doing Panto together down in UCH, which is mad. But a lot of people don't know, you're like a jack of all trades. You aren't just involved on stage. You have a lot to do with off stage, like the music, production, and like all the incredible animation that you would see in the Panto and stuff. Did you always want to learn behind the scenes as well? And how did you go from on stage into production end of things?
So I suppose the reality of it is I'm 23, 24 years now working within the business as a job.
Yeah.
And this business is very, very hard, and especially in Ireland and the UK, everywhere. But Ireland was a very small place, and I needed to expand as much as I could. And I just found myself like, I'm going, all right, how, when I'm not on stage, and because some years I went just from Panto and then didn't really do other stage stuff until Panto again.
Yeah.
So I needed to develop how I could generate income.
Yeah.
You know? So in my down months, I always had a grow up for technology and computers and stuff like that, as I think I've passed on to you now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but yeah, I started learning Pro Tools, started with Logic and all this thing, so I learned how to do the recording stuff. I spent a huge amount of time with David Hayes, not my brother, the Dublin David Hayes, and Seamus Brett, either doing session vocals or when I was recording my albums with them over the years. And I used to just love the way they did it and watching how it was made, and I went, I need to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
And I did, and they were my mentors on that. And then as the years went by, I started getting into video cameras.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear me a little trivia about that one?
Oh,
do you know who started me off with me video camera craze?
Who? Because you passed it on to me, so thanks a lot to whoever that was. Who was it?
Donald Gleason.
Go away.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
And now it looks like I'm dropping names, but like it is true, right? So when no one had a Mac, Donald had a Mac, right? And when people didn't really have camcorders, he had a lovely little camcorder, right?
Yeah.
And like I haven't seen him in years, so the Hollywood star he is now is not the chap I knew. I was lucky enough to get accepted into the cast of She Stoops to Conquer in the Abbey Theatre in Dublin.
Yeah.
As a stroke musician, stroke kind of minor couple of roles, but it was amazing. We did like 3-4 months there. So myself, Phelan Drew, which is Ronnie Drew's son, and Donald Gleason were the three kind of filler-ins of multiple parts within the play, but then they needed musicians as well. So I was the drummer, and Donald like, was it a trumpet or a guitar or something? But he was there for a musician as well.
Right.
But he this was before the superstar he is now. Yeah, but he always had his small little Mac, and he was saying, look what I made with the lads. And I said, what is that? Oh, we're making videos and we're editing them. I'm going, how do you do it? Wow, it's amazing. And within a month or two, I hadn't the Mac, but I got myself a cheap PC, and I had like Pinnacle or something like that running on it. Right. So he got me kind of hooked on that. And then I taught myself over the years. Yeah. So, yeah, I working with Robert C. Kelly, who was the producer of the Limerick Panto, had all that stuff in me back thing, but Robert had no idea I was able to do any of that stuff. So as the years went by, and then over the years, having been worked with so many different MDs and musical directors, and which is the same thing, and directors, I had learned a lot from all the different kind of things, and was able to take them all and put them together. And, so during the first couple of years of the Limerick Panto, was a couple of situations came up where we had, we need this, or we can't get it. And I go, well, I can do it if you want. So I'd come back the next day and I'd have it done. And then as he realized then my background, I since then become associate producer on the Limerick Panto, and I've worked with Jen Daggy, which is Robertson, which does Menopause. Yeah. Then I started directing for him. I directed the UK and Irish tours of Menopause the musical, and I've kind of been working in the background of different things like Friends and Menopause 2. And that's so. Hence, we create right now. We create the Panto, me, Robert, and Erica, and then the others come in. But it's me, Robert, and Erica from an early stage. Yeah, and I love it because I think the experience between us all and all the different scenarios we've gone through, it's very rare something comes up where we go, oh, what would we do there? Well, we could try this, and this. Because as far as I'm concerned, Panto needs to be traditional. Don't try fix it. It's fun. Yeah. It's slapstick, handy entertainment. It's actually very intricate. But once you know the formula, and a lot of people do, you just need to keep it in the box and you're good.
Right, last thing on Panto, you over the years, like I used to go watch you with the school and the Gaiety and stuff, and then got to share the stage with you down in Limerick. You've done quite a lot of big stunts over the years. What's been your favourite or most fun scene or stunt to do in Panto over the years?
As in physical, where I did something on stage?
Yeah, was it like, remember you did that thing in the Gaiety, the big boat thing, stuff like that?
Okay, so I suppose that wasn't really it was, I suppose, a stunt where we did this. That was Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah.
Patrick Burnell and Joe Conlon did the thing where we're in the boat heading for the island, and we're supposed to go fishing, but the Gaiety was huge, so we had this entire like inside the set of the boat. It was on a big huge truck, and it rocked left and right. So we were going like from 5 foot up to 15 foot in the air.
Yeah,
it's like an amusement, right? That was, I suppose, the most fun.
Yeah.
But I think the best one was the same show actually.
Yeah.
Robinson Crusoe. We would fall in. I would fall off the stage into the pit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah.
And I would fall off the stage into the pit. Probably, I think we did it 6 to 8 times per show, which was 16 times a day, by 100 and something shows.
Yeah.
And to this day, my left shoulder still pains me from it. Because again, Darren Crosby, who was the director, nuts. He was the choreographer on the very first Panto Aladdin I did.
Yeah.
Darren used to love the fact that I would never say no to anything. And he was just mad. He still is.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about putting you up there, and should we throw you off and do one of your backflip things or something like that and land on the ground? Okay.
Yeah.
You know? But we worked it out. But yeah, I think so. The most fun was in the boat, but the best one I used to love was the jumping off the stage. It had to look like I was either after being pushed off the stage or I just walked and forgot about the drop, which was about 16 feet.
Madness. That's madness. But you came runner-up in the first series of The Voice of Ireland. What was that experience like, going from Panto into the world of like TV and that kind of structure of a show?
You want the real story?
Yeah.
So I got into a stage in Panto, and on kind of all about building your profile.
Exclusive. You heard it here first. The Chit Chat Podcast, the real story.
Yeah, you have it on a jumper now and all, or a hoodie.
Ah, yeah, we do. What?
You save up long for that?
I did. I have the brick wall. I got my money from that to get myself a jumper. Yeah.
But the jumper first, folks, and then he said he waited another week and he was able to get the 2 word. So where was it? Yeah, The Voice. Yeah. I needed to profile, and at the time, like, it's still the same. Reality TV was where it was at, and I had got myself to a stage as kind of an unknown head. Nobody, just a head running around stage. That was a joke. Yeah.
So I'm just not used to the older jokes, the older generation jokes. Sorry.
When you're a little child.
Yeah, little babby, baby coat.
So yeah, went into The Voice to up my profile on television because I needed to get my wage up, my fee up, all that kind of thing. So it was all connected. But I never really thought it was going to be where it ended up.
Yeah.
So I got a phone call from Sony. I went into asking me. It was a guy from Sony who was scouting people. That's what the very first year, there was a lot of people that were already in the business involved in some shape or form throughout from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I was one of them. So it was my first real taste of proper TV, and like it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. And at the same time, Erica was pregnant on Taylor, so and she was very close to her. But we did it all kind of in September, October. Then I did Panto, and then in late November, I knew I was into the live shows. But they only started broadcasting the blind auditions in January. Yeah. And then I think it was end of February, early March of that year then that we went to, we started doing the live shows.
Yeah.
So I just had to stay stumped for months.
Yeah.
But like to get through it all, and it just blew up, you know what I mean? And it was a great time of my life. I don't regret doing it. I loved it. It's like everything though, you go from like there to like boom so quick.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you try, because that again, it's an entertainment show. Yeah. That's what it is. And people get wrapped up in it when it's on.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But as soon as it's over, it's like the end of a season of Game of Thrones or something. It's done now, good luck. And then it was gas. You couldn't go anywhere without people stopping you or saying hello, wanting to talk to you, photographs and all that. And then as the weeks and months went by, they started going, how do I know you again? And I'm going, you probably remember me from.
Yeah.
So, but look, I got to record an album, the What About Me album. Worked with Don Mescal and Seamus Brent and a lot of other writers. And but again, it was put out under distributed Dolphin Records, who were involved with the Coronas, Mary Black and all that. And and it was great. And then it just didn't have the legs to keep running. You know what I mean? Because it was, as I said, it was a program. At the time, it was hard to deal with. It took me a long time to just kind of cope with it all. But looking back on it, it was pretty great because it put me kind of into everyone's living room, and it did certainly do what it was meant to do.
And just kind of going back a bit, how we met was through your stage school.
Mm-hmm.
And you've nurtured a lot of people that have gone on to do stuff all over the place.
Not like you, though.
No, I'm still no. Why a stage school? You set it up with Erica, your wife, who, like you were saying earlier, she is my second mammy. Why a stage school, and what made you guys decide to set one up?
So again, there was always stage schools, not stage. There was dance classes and stuff like that. You know, you had the stage for kids, and you had loads of different groups.
Yeah.
And then Erica had classes in Kildare, and she taught at a lot of the major stage schools in Dublin. And we started dating at the time. She said, I'd like to do my own thing. And I said, well, she was doing it in Kildare, but it was the Kill was too small, you know. I said, look, there's an opening in Waterford. Why don't we team up and do it together? Which we did. And we started off down in Garter Lane with 1 or 2 hours on a Saturday, and
the rest is
8
history.
or 9 years later, it turned into what it was in our own building out in the Six Cross Roads. It was a great part of our life, but it actually became too big in a way because I was still touring in America, tours and stuff like that, and then the voice, and then Taylor came along, and it started to take its toll as a family on us, you know, and I couldn't stick you anymore, so I had to get away from it.
Honestly, when you told me that you were leaving, I think I cried of happiness.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, for about an hour, I think it was happiness.
I think it was because when I was leaving and Erica was leaving, you said, I don't have to dance anymore. I'm absolutely brutal, so now I don't have to dance anymore.
Exactly. Well, you did.
No, look, as I said, to wrap it up, as in the school part of it.
Yeah.
We decided to kind of step away from it at a good time, you know.
Yeah.
And we won't go on about what happened after that, but like, you know, I am so proud of what we done. We gave so many youngsters opportunities, and you know, you went off and did your own thing, and we helped you as much as we possibly could, and still do to this day. But there was a lot of kids there, teenagers, that got opportunities through our careers in a way, you know. Like when you think about it, we brought you all up to the Olympia Panto auditions, which usually country kids wouldn't have gotten in to do, and you got it, and Katie got it, and you know, and then Nathan and the rest of you over the years, you all got it, and then from that, the Late Show stuff started kicking in. You got that, and we started getting movie auditions then as well. And it was all, that was the idea. That was the difference. That Erica's a great dancer and a great teacher, and she was able to teach proper commercial, you know, professional technique. And then that didn't mean that everyone was able to just go off and do that, but the likes of yourself, and there was other people that were able to go teaching from it and went to college as well. But I'm not just saying that you are the kind of the prodigy of the whole thing and the golden child, and I have no bones about it, because you left Waterford at such a young age and went to Dublin, did your thing, you lived with us for a while, and then you went to London, and you just kept going and going and going. But you got a good base from Erica, and
100%.
I like to think that you got your technique from Erica, and kind of from me, I think I guided you on the business side of the business, you know.
100%. And there's been many times it's like when I've had a problem or didn't know what I was going to do, I'd ring you and Erica for that advice, and you know what I mean, and you'd tell me, oh, he's in the real boss, Taylor Hayes, is in.
If this is a live podcast, by the way, you're like something. If you're going to say hello. Otherwise, off you go. He's gone. He's gone.
But let's.
I want to be seen in my public. Do you hear him? I give you a kick in the. There you go. Keep that part in. You were saying about times you'd come to us.
Yeah, and that's, I think, we had the best of both worlds, I think, in the school, because we had Erica, like you said, on the dance front and all that kind of stuff, and then you guided me in ways when I got, there was stuff that over the years where I said to you, look, Richie, I don't know what to do. How do I get out of this situation? And you've been there for a lot of people. It wasn't just in the stage school. you helped. Do you know what I mean? It was something more than just a stage school. It created, I think, a family. I'd safely say for all of us. You
we
know
used
what I
to say that it was like a youth club that didn't do sports. We did musical theater and also, you know, the whole musical theater thing and performing sometimes can be, you know, a bullying
Yes.
target.
Yes.
And I was one of those people that, because of my height, I did get bullied in school, and also then I liked doing music and stuff, which was another reason to get bullied and that kind of thing. So I wanted to be able to create a safe environment for the kids who were a little bit outside of the box.
And I know that's exactly what it was for me as well. I'm the same as you, because, you know, what we want to do wouldn't have been the...
Cool.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And
now.
I knew, I knew the stage school was a place for me that I could just go and be myself for those 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday, and, you know what I mean, just unwind and be who I wanted to be. But look, we'll move on from the stage school. We have to talk about Mrs. Brown's Boys, the Christmas special. You played Jake, who arrived as Kathy's blind date, and you sang us all out at the end of the show. Working with Brendan O'Carroll and the cast must have been an incredible experience. How did that all come about, from like booking the job to then going on and shooting it?
So I'll make it as quick as I can. Again, my first couple of years in the Gaiety, a lot of people were getting kind of taking note of who I was and who was this guy from Waterford. Brendan O'Carroll was one of them.
Yeah.
And I got a call years before, about 5 or 6 years before the one I just done. And it was Brendan asking me, would I come on and play this role? And I went, absolutely, brilliant. Yeah. And we were away on a week's holidays, actually, just before Panto started. And I flew home, and I was flying home on the Friday morning to fly to Glasgow.
Yeah.
Contracts, everything was done. And Thursday night, I got an email from the agent at the time to say that it had been cancelled. That the storyline had been cancelled, they'd run over and all that kind of thing. And you always hear these storylines.
Yeah.
Got a one gone, devastated. But Brendan said to me, don't worry, I'll get back to you at some stage. Right?
Yeah. So
again, after The Voice, a few years after it, the call came again from Brendan. Yeah. Would you be interested in doing this role? And I went, yeah, absolutely. Hope it works out this time. And everything was done. And right up to Christmas Eve or Christmas night when it aired, because of what happened, even though I'd filmed and done the whole thing, I was still going, we'll have to cut me out, we'll have to cut me out, we'll have to cut me out. So when they actually shoot the cuts to me at the table, I went, I'm in it, you know. Yeah. And I didn't tell it. You didn't even know.
I left you up from Panto when we all go back for our 2 days off, and I remember texting you, I think, on the Christmas day going, just saw you on TV, what's going on here?
Yeah, the phone exploded. So it was amazing. It was probably the best experience of my life. We shot it in Glasgow in BBC Studios up there. Yeah. And like, you know, the O'Carrolls come across as such a tight-knit, and the Mrs. Brown's family. And what you see is what you get. And they took me in, and I'm still connected with them all. Brendan lives about less than an hour from here.
I was just about to say, do you ever see him when you're going off on a bike ride or something and pass each other and go,
hey, he's not that close to me. He's in Orlando, and I'm over on the West Coast by Coco. Or the East Coast, I should say. But most summers, a lot of them come over here and spend time here, and we'd go over and spend time with him. And so I kind of got to know him outside of the studios as well. And, Paul, it was great. And like, I was there on set, and I'm going, I'm here. And the funniest part of the time is when we shoot it twice. So you shoot it in the afternoon, then you shoot it again that night with two different audiences. And so the first time I'm sitting there, I'm as nervous as hell. And
I can only imagine.
Back of the kitchen, basically. Is the door where you kind of leads to the dressing room area. It's a huge, big 60-inch TV there. And when they started, they actually played the intro as you would see it on the telly. It comes up on all the screens within the studio. And the audience getting, that's Mrs. Brown. And I'm watching it on the screen. I'm never way in my vision over here, then I get to see the camera swinging in. And I'm going, Mrs. Brown, look, because I always watch it. Next time I went, Mrs. Brown, this is cool. And next time I go, I'm here. For that split second, I thought I was just watching it on the television. I went, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm on stage. I'm in at the kitchen. It's such an iconic set.
100%.
It was like a trip, to be honest. But I was just like, oh, I can't believe this happened.
Yeah.
Again, it was brilliant. I just loved it. I loved every bit of it. And I so wish that something like that happened again. And the way it is with Brendan, you could end up involved with another project that is,
Yeah.
But there's so like obviously Brendan as Brendan in rehearsals, he even wear the bib a lot of the times. But when Agnes appears, it's Agnes.
Right.
And that was so strange the very first day that I'm on set, and actually Agnes came in, and I went, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Well, look, Richie, that's all we have time for. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And if you're interested in booking any Richie's shows or anything like that, make sure to check out his website at www.richiehayes.net. Look at that for a plug, huh? Look at that for a plug.
Oh. Okay, so Evan, when do I get paid for this?
I'll invoice your agent. I'll talk to your agent for you.
Yeah, okay. How soon can you get the money to
Don't
me?
start this now at the end of it. Don't start this and put me on the spot now at the end of it.
You said that if I did it, you pay me, and you pay me a lot of money. So when do I?
That should be in your account. About 10 grand will be in your account in about a few days. But podcast is doing really well. Really well.
No, that's very good. I'm delighted it is. Yeah. We're not recording anymore, so we're not.
Oh no, we still are.
Huh?
Anyway, look, make sure to follow us.
Listen, Evan, I want to wish you all the best with this podcast. It's very good, and I'm glad I was able to give you my time for free.
Yeah. Oh God, I could kill him. I could actually kill him. But anyway, look. Oh, make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Chit Chat Podcast, on Twitter at the Chit Chat _ and Facebook at the Chit Chat Podcast. Wow, go on.
How's the rash? Is it all right?
Yeah, it's clearing up lovely. Thanks very much for that cream, by the way.
No, that's no problem. I told you, you have to stay away from all them women. How do you manage, actually?
Anyway, guys, I'm Evan O'Hanlon from the Chit Chat Podcast. Thank you so much for listening.